Hello everyone. What I'd like to do today in this video is explain a little bit about the buddy heater, the propane, the hose, and the oil that gets trapped in the line. This is a situation I had when I started to use my heater this year, when last year when I used it worked great. So this year when I fired it up, tried to fire it up, had everything hooked up, I sparked and sparked and sparked. I tried everything to get my heater to light and it wouldn't light. So I listened real closely and I could hear that the flow of propane gas was intermittent. In other words, I could hear it sparking through and quitting, like something was stopping it up. So I did some research, and what I found is that over a period of time, when you shut a heater down, and this is probably in all likelihood what I did, if this heater is running and I turn it off here, and I either turn it off here or either leave it on here, either one, what you do is trap gas from here through the heater up to the on and off valve. So over a period of time, what that will cause, based on changes in temperature and pressures, is for oil to separate from the propane gas, settling in the low points in the hoses and also in the heater. So let's go over to the diagram and let me explain kind of what I was encountering. Okay, so here we are. Here's my propane gas bottle, my valve, my hose, my Mr. Heater, buddy heater. So it comes from the bottle, gas flows through the hose to the regulator, through the regulator into the heater. Arrows are directional flow on the tubing inside the heater. And at some point inside the heater, it drops down. So when that happens, the oil that's here, because of pressures, the pressure in the hose from the bottle will actually push this oil up through the system. And as it turns down, this oil will drain and drip to the low point. Then it comes across this way and it turns down here just prior to getting to the pilot light orifice. There's another low spot. So here is where your oil is going to trap. Here is where your oil is going to trap. Remember, based on differences in temperatures and pressures, the oil separates from the LP gas or propane. So here are your low points. There may be another one in here as far as I know. I didn't take my heater apart to look at everything specifically, but I do know that this is what happened. So that's going to interfere with your pilot, a good steady gas flow, and you won't be able to light this heater. Okay, so now let's go back over here and let me show you what I did. So here we are back over at the heater. What I'm going to do is try to reproduce what I actually experienced and encountered when I had the issue, and then we'll get into what I did to fix it. So I'm going to turn the gas flow on. You got to turn this on slow. You should really do this with any gas bottle anyway, because this is pressurized and you want to let that pressure equalize in a slow process and not just blow all out at one time. It could cause, there's not a lot of pressure in this bottle. I'm not sure exactly how much pressure there is in this bottle, but some high pressure bottles, if you just open that thing up real fast, could cause a problem. So that's just a little point of safety. So you want to open this up real slow. Okay, and then you come over here. What I did to drain the oil out, because what you have in here is pressure now. This hose is pressurized. And there's a little check valve here that stops the flow from coming out. So what will happen, because of the pressure, when I push this little check valve in, that it will allow that pressure to equalize, or at least escape. So what that will help to do is to push that oil that's laying in this system out through here. And it's another good idea just to keep it low. There's a little pin in there you can depress. And I usually do this 2 or 3 times, whatever it takes to try to evacuate and clean this line out. So now there'll be an odor because you're allowing propane gas to escape, so don't worry about that. You do want to be in a safe environment, not where there's open flames or anything. We're outside in my barn right now. So let the pressure build back up. Okay, and you can see there's a little bit of oil, not much, because I've cleaned this thing out the other day fixing it. But when I did it initially, I had oil all over my hand. So there was a lot in here. So right now, what I'm finding out is that there's not much oil. And that's because I'd cleaned it out to be able to light it the other day. Okay, so now we'll move to the heater. You can see where your regulator's here, your hose hook's here. Here's your trap. If you just shut this down, shut that down and leave gas on the line, here's your trap. So by keeping this open when you shut it down, you alleviate any gas you allow to escape through the system. So the gas comes through, runs through here, drops down, comes across, and turns up, and lights at the orifice down in here. So let's hook everything back up. Can you see this? Make sure you don't cross these threads. This is a soft metal here, and if you cross that, you probably got a problem. They wind up having to go and do another one. So be careful when you line this up, and you're just going to hand tighten it good and snugly. So it's snug with the finger and the thumb. Get back and put a little bit more pressure on it. Okay, of course, let's back up and say that this is the same case. You don't have to put pliers or wrenches on these, just good and snug by the hand. So we're open, got pressure here. We hooked it up to the regulator. When you do it, it depresses the pin. It puts gas on the heater. Now, when I shut it down the other day, as you can see, I've still got it open on low because I allowed it to burn out. So what I have to do now to light it, I'm going to go all the way back to off. Then I'm going to come here, put it on pilot, press down. You might be able to hear the flow of gas. I'm not sure. Let's see. A little bit. Sounds like there might be a minor amount of oil in there, but we'll find out. Now we're going to depress the igniter again. There you go. Lights up. It's got a beautiful blue flame, and that's what you want. Now it's got a little carburization in it. See the orange flame? That's an indication that something's burning in there that shouldn't be in there. So I'm just going to let that burn a minute. I'll try to light it. Okay, so we got lucky. No, we didn't. It went out. So let's turn it back off. Okay, so there's evidently a little bit of oil in the low point down here pooled. So what I'm going to do is show you what I did to drain that out. It may be a little unorthodox, but it's all about gravity flow, right? It flows to the low point. So what I'm going to do is take this screen off, turn this off, unhook my heater, and I'm going to position my heater in a way because the orifice right here drops down and turns up and comes in here like this on this angle. So I've got a little gas pool, little oil pool right here. So what I'm going to do is turn this up like this. It's all based on gravity. Prop this in here. Let that sit for a little bit. When I did this first time, you could see the oil as it came out flowing through here. So I'm going to give this a few minutes and then we'll try to light it again. Okay, so we've had it tipped up for about 8-10 minutes maybe. Let's turn it back up right. I'll just leave the screen set aside right there for right now. Let's see if that helped us any. Let's hook our fuel back up. Turn the gas on slowly. Let's go ahead. We've got that off already. Turn the gas on slowly. Depress. Turn. Now I have to push this down to get any gas flow. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be or not, but there's no flow now, as is evidenced by nothing here. So I have to depress it. Now I can hear it. Y'all probably can't hear it, but I hear the flow. And I don't hear it spitting anymore, so we've got a good flow. We cleared some oil out of the line. Let's go ahead and light it. Nice pretty blue flame, no more orange. That's what you want. Turn it to low. Rotate it to high. And our heater's working great. Okay. Because this line and this heater has been fouled previously with oil, this process may have to be repeated 2 or 3 times. But you saw it only took 10 minutes. If you know cold weather's coming, go ahead and get everything together, hook everything up, and make sure it's working and functioning properly. Now also what I do when I take this inside, if I'm in closed quarters, I have a carbon monoxide monitor. It's inside. It's about this big that I lay on the floor close to the heater, somewhere in that vicinity. So if any carbon monoxide builds up in the house, it's slightly heavier, so it should fill up from the floor up, but whether it's any presence whatsoever, that little monitor will go off and let you know. Of course, when I was a kid and I grew up, we used propane heaters all the time. Never had any problem. But now with all the safety and focused on things like this because of homes blowing up and different kinds of things, it's always good to have a carbon monoxide monitor when you're using this type of a heating system. And then to wind it up today, I would just like to explain that I do on my channel is always dedicated to the Lord. I love my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. John 3:16. And if you don't know the Lord as your Savior, please come to know the Lord. You can see everywhere you look this day and time, there's evidence of evil, and our world is going down the tubes. So you need to know, if you want to get to heaven, and I do, accept the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. Also, in the future, on my channel, I'm going to start adding various things, informative things that can be used by y'all. As I learn things and experience things, I'm going to share them with you. But my plan at this point, I've been a welder all my life. I've been a welder for 50 years. I'm a certified welding inspector. I'm going to start doing welding videos so that I can literally, if you can strike an arc and maintain a puddle, I can talk you through with videos and focus on the puddle to show you how to learn how to weld. God bless you. Have a good day. Next time.